Tons of Amazon sellers make the same exact mistakes that cause them to fail as sellers and lose thousands of dollars, and you might be one of them. Because the reality of selling on Amazon is that it's not rocket science. It just takes hard work, and if you know these things that I'm about to break down for you, it's going to get easier. So please avoid all these mistakes that we're about to break down, and if this video helps you make money, please hit the subscribe button down below. Let's jump into it. So let's start out by talking about what's probably the most important thing for new Amazon sellers to understand, and even veteran Amazon sellers get this wrong, right? So let's take this random example product. We can sell a ton of name brand products like this on Amazon. I've sold over $5 million of name brand products without doing any marketing, creating new products, all that kind of stuff. But where it becomes tricky and where a lot of people get it wrong is they'll look at an item like this. Today it's selling for $47. We can buy it at the brand's website today for $25, and they'll jump in here and they'll say, oh, I make $5 profit, but my ROI is not quite high enough, right? So I like to look personally for about 30 to 35% return on investment. So I make at least 30 cents for every dollar that I spend. And so initially looking at this item, it's no good. We'd have to skip it. We'd have to keep looking for different products to sell on Amazon. But the reality is that this is simply not true. And we can add a ton of profit to this just by digging a little bit deeper. So the biggest thing you need to remember is don't expect good products to just slap you in the face. They're just sitting there. And honestly, you wouldn't want them to be, right? Because what you want is to go to products like this and use free tools. For example, the Capital One shopping Chrome extension. See, it's got a bunch of coupon codes listed. When I bought this item, I bought it with a 10% coupon code. See, right now there's 5% off codes, all that kind of stuff. And honestly, you can just go ahead and add a bunch of products to your cart, see what codes work, that kind of thing. And specifically for this, I'm going to show you something that might be a little bit technical, but it's going to turn a ton of websites to okay products into really good products, right? So on the bottom of a lot of websites, you can see this is one of them. There's going to be a little blank down here where we can go ahead and sign up with our email or phone number and get a coupon, right? So for me, I use email typically to get these coupon codes. And let's say your name is mike@gmail.com. You were super early to Gmail. You got an awesome Gmail account there, right? And then when you plug in your email address, you're going to get that 20% code emailed to you. But you don't want to have to create a ton of email addresses to get all these coupon codes, right? So what you can do is you can just add a plus, and then usually I just like spam the keyboard or whatever. And that's going to automatically redirect that email to whatever is before the plus. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a little bit technical there, but if you use this correctly, you're going to make a ton of coupon codes that allow you to purchase items like this, where typically it might not be quite profitable. Some other websites, it might be 10%, 20%, where you go in, you punch in that catch-all email address is what that's called. And then suddenly we've turned our $25 buy cost into a $20 buy cost, right? So now this item is a $10 profit, 52% ROI. It's a great item. I'd be all over that. But why stop there? We can add even more bonus money to our item right here. So let's go ahead and head to Cashback Monitor. This is a site that aggregates a lot of the websites that give cash back when you purchase a product. So in this example, we're going through the Gap website, and here today we can get the 5.2% cash back is the highest cash back rate. So basically we'll get an extra free dollar back just for buying that product. Looks like it's through Hoopla Doopla. Not sure who named it that, but I'll take the free money from them. And I've actually used them before. They're pretty solid. And so on this, we could immediately get a nice little 5.2% back. Again, we're just taking super simple steps that other people might not replicate to make items good out of something that other people might scam past, right? So another thing we can do is we can look at a website called Cardbear. This is where we can buy discounted gift cards. And this website here is one of my favorites, GCX. When I go over there, I can immediately buy 4% from the brand themselves. I can see if I want to only buy $317 worth of gift cards and I don't want to have to worry about having any balances or anything like that left over, you can totally do that. Today, though, it seems like the discount is really solid. So I'd probably go ahead and buy some of these right here. So we can see we're buying $100 worth of gift cards. We're paying $85 for it. So we've immediately added 15% extra on top of our margin. So we can go ahead and even bake that in further. Let's do times 0.85 to our cost right there. And then now we're down to a $17 buy cost. So now we're making $13.40, where previously a less trained Amazon seller who might be, all right, I'll try it, 20% ROI, that kind of thing. But now you and I know that we can go in here and we can actually almost double our money. We're making an 80% ROI after this, after all Amazon fees, after all that's said and done, right? And so when you're selling on Amazon, just remember retail price is almost never going to have good items. And if they are good at retail price, they're probably too easy to find, and there's going to be a lot of competition. But if you're doing a little bit of extra digging like this, you're going to find some awesome items where other people are running right past. And that brings me to the second thing that I would definitely want to do if I wanted my Amazon business to fail, because especially on the product sourcing side, it's going to take hard work. Anything that genuinely works, anything that genuinely will make you money is hard work, right? Unfortunately, Amazon is not the get rich quick scheme that a lot of people like to pitch it as. And I know for me, I thought it wouldn't work because I actually tried selling on Amazon 5 or 6 years ago. I gave it 5 or 10 hours and it just didn't work. I was like, okay, this doesn't work. I'm throwing in the towel. But I'm so glad that I came back around and I saw other people continuing to crush it. So the second thing I would do if I wanted to fail is I would try for 5 or 10 hours, not really find any products, maybe sell an item or two, and then immediately give up. And think about something that you're really good at, really passionate about, something you've probably put a lot of time into. I bet you were absolutely horrible at it at the beginning, whether that's a sport you play, walking, anything, right? Anything that we've had to practice as people, you were probably terrible at it when you first started, and making money online is no different, right? But at the end of the day, you've got to give yourself a chance to succeed if you're ever actually going to have that success in the first place. But if you only give yourself a couple hours to succeed, to try it out, see how it goes, you're probably not going to have any success, because the reality of basically every online business is that you're probably not going to make too much money if you break it down per hour, that kind of thing, in the early days. But over time, that skill massively scales. I know it because I started with about $1,500 in my bank account. It's just a nice side hustle. I was going to go get a 9-to-5 job after I graduated college. But since I kept compounding that skill, I was actually able to turn my Amazon business into my full-time income. And I'm so glad that I gave myself a second shot to see if it actually worked, because it did. And for every hour that you end up spending on your Amazon business, there's a good shot that it could have been a little bit more effective, because that actually brings me to the third thing that I would do if I wanted my Amazon business to fail. And that's that I would never go out and start talking to other Amazon sellers, trying to share ideas and probably source products together. And no, this is not a pitch to buy one mentorship or whatever else you see out there on Instagram and stuff. I want to show you a great example of someone who's done this super effectively, right? Because it's not as crazy as you might think. And this is my friend Aaliyah right here. I've actually talked to her on the channel before. She's awesome. And you can see she's just sharing what she's up to in her personal life, especially when it comes to her Amazon business, right? So here she's probably bragging about getting that first feedback as an Amazon seller. Here she's getting approved to sell on Walmart, certain brands that she's getting ungated to sell, nice big shipment going out with probably the product prepper right there. I hope the dog was throwing some of those products in boxes for her, right? But you can see all these have lots of comments, and you'll see a lot of other pages on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you like to look at social media. You'll see a lot of pages like this where people are just sharing what they're up to. And of all these people commenting, I know she's been talking with a lot of the people in the comments, probably met a lot of these people through social media. Aaliyah, if you're watching this video, let me know down below if networking has been massively beneficial to your business. But this is a super simple way to get in front of other Amazon sellers, let other Amazon sellers know that you're serious. You can see other Amazon sellers who are serious, reach out to them, say, hey, I saw you did $2,000 in sales last month. I did 1,500. Let's hop on a call. Let's talk about business. Let's store some products together. Let's share some ideas, right? Because not only are you going to make more money if you're willing to go out, look dumb, ask stupid questions, all that kind of stuff, you're also just going to have more fun. You're going to be able to build the business with other people. You're going to grow faster. For me personally, it was a huge reason why I was able to grow as an Amazon seller. I was stuck around $20,000 to $30,000 a month, sourcing products on my own, just learning the ropes. And as soon as I started talking to some of the people that I still talk to today, I was immediately able to grow my business to over 6 figures a month. In fact, I remember 6 months after I hopped on my first Zoom call with other Amazon sellers, I had a $150,000 a month. And the vast majority of that is simply from talking to other people, seeing what they were up to. I was sharing what I was up to, and we were all able to make more money together. Because at the end of the day, there are tons and tons of successful Amazon sellers. If you're putting 1 or 2 other people that you can trust on some of your favorite ideas, and they're doing the same, everybody wins. Don't worry about the competition that comes with a couple other people, because I see that scarcity mindset in a lot of Amazon sellers who end up failing. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. On top of social media, you can also check out, we have a free Discord group down below. There's lots of great conversations going on in there. See somebody at your level, shoot them a DM, and you guys can start working together. Another thing I would definitely do if I wanted my Amazon business to fail or take forever to grow is I would try to plan everything ahead, super detailed. I would wait as long as possible to make those first sales. And I see this a lot, especially with people who have an older mentality about things. They might go in and they're making $100 a month or something like that in their first month. And then it's like, oh, I got to get a bookkeeper. I got to get a CPA. I got to make sure everything's dialed in. I got to have the perfect spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. When in reality, basically all that matters in the early days is buying as many good products as possible, casting as wide a net as possible, see what works, lose $50 here, $75 here, make $200 here, just get those baby steps going. And then later down the line, of course, you want to worry about those big picture things, the things that keep your business organized. But I just see it a lot where people are worrying about problems that just don't exist yet. And especially when it comes to getting that proof of concept as fast as possible, I'm going to show you 2 major tactical things that you need to implement basically today if you want to start making some money. And so let's take a look at just an example product right here. So when I look at a product here, let's say you bought this product for $12, you can make $4 profit, all that kind of stuff. And what's really interesting and you need to be paying attention to when you're figuring out what you're selling on Amazon is how you're going to be able to sell that item, right? So in case you've never heard of FBA and FBM, I'll quickly talk about it here. So you can see on the buy box rotation, this is showing me who has recently made sales on this listing. The best way to make sales on Amazon is to be the same price as the current buy box price, or sometimes even a little bit above it, and to have as fast a shipping speed as possible, right? So typically what that means is to get a lot of buy box, a lot of sales, you have have to ship it into Amazon FBA, box it all up, ship it off to Amazon, they receive it, and then ship it off to customers when it sells. But on a lot of items, like this one, for example, you can see how this says type FBM just now. 5 hours ago, there was an FBM sale. 12 hours ago, there was a different FBM sale. So this is very obvious that a lot of people are able to make FBM sales where they're shipping these directly to the customers who just bought them. So you could go out to the store or buy this online. As soon as it enters your house, you can list it on Amazon using Boxem. And if it's a fast selling product, sometimes I've literally listed it while I was in the store and it's sold before I even leave the store. And so when you're in the early days, you're just trying to see, does this actually work? Are the people on social media lying? Is this all a scam? And you list that product and right away you're making sales. Instantly your brain is way more fired up about chasing more of those sales versus somebody who sends everything to FBA. They have to wait a week or two to start making those sales. By the time that it starts selling, maybe the sale they bought it on is gone. They can't restock it. Versus that FBM seller, they listed 2 or 3, they all sold. It's like, oh, my sale's still rolling. Let me keep buying a bunch more, restock, and just make a lot more sales, right? So FBM in the early days is massive. And if you compare that to a different listing like this one right here, you can see how very recently the just won sales, it seems like it's been 5 days or so, the different color over here, since an FBM seller has made some sales. So if you're seeing something like that, there's still an awesome hack that you can use to make FBA sales faster. And that's going to be where Boxem comes in. So Boxem is a software that lets you list all your products on Amazon, store your costs, know what you're actually making, analytics, all that kind of stuff. But something that's super useful and I've been using a lot recently is the 2D barcodes feature on Boxem. And basically what that does is it just adds this barcode here on the bottom of the FBA box label. Basically, when we go through the process, we'll just take this label, slap it on the outside of the box. And when this shows up at the Amazon warehouse, they can scan this and it makes it a little bit easier for them to receive your products. And for me in my Amazon business, this has led to me making sales faster on those products that I ship into Amazon FBA, all because the 2D barcode through Boxem makes it a little bit easier for the Amazon warehouse. And then like I was talking about, you'll also want to have a software like Boxem where you can list all your products. That way you actually know what your business is making, because obviously that's a big one. At the end of the day, you want to know after all your fees and all that kind of stuff, am I profitable? Am I not? What's working? What's not? And this is the tool I use to figure all that out. Another thing I would do if I wanted my Amazon business to fail is I would be expecting that passive income. I would try to outsource everything right away, and I would try to spend as little time as possible in the early days on my Amazon business. Because I'm sure you've seen it all over social media. You have the laptop lifestyle, driving the Lamborghini all over the place, all that goofy stuff. But at the end of the day, selling on Amazon, especially in the early days, takes a lot of hard work. If you're in the early days of your business and you're thinking about hiring virtual assistants and shipping everything off to prep centers and all that kind of stuff, that's great in the long run. That's how I actually run my business today. But I only did that after I really understood every single step of the business so that I knew how to hire good people. I knew how to train people, especially when it comes to product sourcing. I would see a lot of people, they'll sell their first $1,000, $5,000, whatever it is. And they're like, all right, how do I hire a virtual assistant? I don't want to source products anymore, which sure, great. I'm glad that you're wanting to build that long-term business. But the reality is you need to be a master at what you're doing before you think about outsourcing it in your business, unless you're like swimming in cash and you don't care if you want to throw money away. At the end of the day, it's your business. But personally, for my business, I was spending about $20,000 a month on my own, loading up the laptop in class, buying as much product as I could. And I was just simply running out of time to spend the rest of my money. And so that's where I started hiring people, because I knew exactly how to train them. I knew exactly where to send them and show them, hey, you can find good products here. Do this process. This is what I've been doing. I'm going to go try to figure out some new ideas. Whereas a lot of new sellers, they'll hop in. Oh, I found 2 products. All right, I'm going to try to hire everything out. And it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And so I want to set very clear expectations that your Amazon business can be an awesome long-term business where you don't have to spend too much of your own time, but it's never going to be passive income. It is very much a business that takes effort to run, especially in the early days. You're going to have to learn everything before you can start worrying about hiring and pulling yourself out of the business. So I'm hoping that none of what I just talked about applies to you. You knew all that. You're saying, duh, the whole video, in which case, thanks for watching all the way here. But I'm betting that at least one of these you've been guilty of at least thinking about, and hopefully it's turned you into a smarter Amazon seller. If that's the case and you want to help me hit my childhood dream of having that shiny 100,000 subscriber YouTube plaque, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Also, let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. I'm always super happy to help you guys out down below. But I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you want to see my entire step-by-step process for finding winning products, click this video right here.